Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, is it a bourbon?
It's bourbon.
We're drinking bourbon. All right, Ben, what's in a square bottle and called bourbon?
Well, this stuff right here, we've got, bam, Wilderness Trail, bottled in bond. Okay.
All right.
I'm pretty excited to do this one. I know I say that about a lot of bottles, but we've had only one of their products so far, which for some odd reason you don't remember doing at all.
I have zero memory, and he says, and I've not gone back to look at the video evidence, but...
There is evidence on the World Wide Web.
I believe him, but I still don't remember. It was your bottle. It was a weeder.
Yes.
This is not a weeder.
It was a weeded single barrel, and I absolutely loved it. It's one of those ones where, you try a new distillery, don't know what to expect, and then it's a real nice surprise.
This is just a real nice surprise. Just a real nice surprise.
Before we get into this, if you guys are interested in knowing a little bit more about Wilderness Trail, Chad and Sarah over at It's Bourbon Night just did kind of like a mini documentary on the distillery. They interviewed the people and stuff like that. It's outstanding. They did a great job on it. It's full of tons of information. So I would recommend going to check that out. I'll try to remember to put a link to it.
That'd be awesome.
But if I don't, just search It's Bourbon Night.
It's Bourbon Night, yeah.
They're pretty popular. I think their channel will come up.
We have got to go to Kentucky. I think they suffer from location.
Right. Yeah.
They're in the heart of the bourbon world, and
And we're in the frozen tundra of Minnesota.
Yeah, frozen tundra. But they do a pretty good job too. So.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Sweeter than I thought.
It is pretty sweet. Yeah.
Ethanol forward, but it is 100 proof. We don't know age, but
it's bottled in bond.
We can assume.
Isn't it bottled in bond?
It is bottled in bond.
Oh yeah, so 4 years.
James Bond. Danville, Kentucky. Non-chill filtered sweet mash.
There's something on here that I'm having a hard time putting my finger on. I'm getting some pretty traditional bourbon notes off of it, but there's something that's just a little, I don't know, there's a little extra stank on it. I don't mean that in a bad way, by the way.
I'm just getting ethanol forward. It's hard to smell because you're just getting hit with the ethanol.
Get more proof than you would figure from 100 proof?
Well, not necessarily more, but that's kind of limiting my ability to dig into it. And
well, let's dig into the taste here and see what happens. Cheers.
So I get almond shortbread big time.
Really?
I would put down a serious amount of your money that this is a weeder.
Really?
Now, I know it's not a weeder, but I'm totally willing to bet Ben's money. Anybody wants to take that bet, let me know. But on the finish, it's rye forward. Wow. This is interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it really hits with that kind of that almond shortbread kind of note that...
it is a little bready.
Yeah.
I can agree with you on that. It's very rich for 100 proof. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like to know what the age is. I know that they have a 6-year bourbon and I think maybe an 8-year. I don't know. They've got some new stuff coming out.
Sure.
But I feel if they're advertising the 6-year as kind of one of their steps up, then this is probably...
It's
less
probably
than
4.
that?
Yeah, it's probably 4 in a day or
so. I would say if this is a 4-year and 100 proof, they've done a fantastic job getting flavors out of this, because this is really...
Or 4 years ago, exactly, they had one very productive day.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, really good. So this is 2 for 2 on Wilderness Trail that I've been completely impressed by.
Okay.
I love that weeder. I definitely need to get another bottle of that.
I still don't have any memory of that, which is odd.
Are you getting
So I'm getting almost like a dry kind of...
Yeah, that's what honestly, that's where I was just going with that. It's kind of like a dry sort of
like almost like a
It's a little tannic.
oak, like you're chewing on like a toothpick. Like, do they make oak toothpicks?
I don't know what they use for toothpicks. I wonder if there's like, it has to be new oak toothpicks.
Well, they're not gonna be used. I mean,
Hey, you know what would be interesting is if they do make toothpicks out of oak, we just take one and burn it with a lighter or a few of them, then throw them in a bottle.
no,
and
I mean, there
see
are
what happens.
People do refinish bourbons, and I hear most of the time it doesn't go out well. But like it does, like it's got a little bit of a wood
It's got some nice legs on
finish,
it too.
which is surprising.
This does have a fairly relatively low barrel entry proof, 110 proof barrel entry.
Okay.
Which is interesting because if you're putting it in at 125 at the max, and then you're watering it down afterwards to proof it down.
You really push down that flavor.
Yeah, but if you water it down before, you may still put a lot of water into it to get it down to where it's at, but now the watered down mash bill is being exposed to the oak and picking up flavor. So it's almost like the water that you add to it is going to be taking on flavors from the barrel too. So the benefit of putting it in at a lower...
Or maybe the water is what evaporates and it only leaves behind the bourbon.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But yeah, it's this is really good. I will definitely be buying a bottle of this.
So now that I've had a couple of sips, it has like the sweetness on it is hard to describe. It's definitely in the sweeter category, but not very extreme. You know what I mean? It's right of center as far as like sweetness, but it's not extremely sweet.
I think it's got a great balance of both.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is just
It's
a
got
really, really
wood spice,
well-balanced bourbon.
sweetness, almondy, bready, kind of shortbread kind of notes. Some caramel.
Yeah, definitely. This just kind of has like all the hallmarks of a classic good bourbon, very well balanced out. You get a little bit of everything, I feel like, on this one.
So I don't remember, is this like a $50?
Yeah, about 50 bucks, yep.
And reasonably available in Minnesota and who knows around the country. But yeah, I like this a lot. Like I think it could be an easy go-to bourbon.
Yes,
like it's not,
absolutely.
It's not a really off to any extreme, like super sweet or super sharp or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing, non-chill filtered, so that helps. They have, so we've had the wheater, now we've had this. They have a rye.
They do have a rye.
And those are the only three I've ever seen in Minnesota. I haven't seen any of their age-stated ones, so
Okay.
I'll be definitely looking out for those, and I would suggest that you two,
Yeah,
also. Yeah, this is definitely one of those distilleries where I think anytime I see a new product by them, I'm going to pick it up.
Yeah, I think so.
For sure. So if you haven't experimented with the Wilderness Trail whiskeys yet, definitely a recommend, for sure.
Totally agree.
All right, well, this has been Wilderness Trail Bottled in Bond on the Bourbon Note. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Till next time. See you next time.